So, hello friends, I got this lens. It's a Nikkor 75 300mm. It's a fantastic zoom, and then I got this one extremely cheap. And then when I say extremely cheap, I'm saying 10 euros. And then it was because the lens wasn't focusing. And then when I tested it on my camera, I realized straightforward what was going on, and then I knew that the lens was open and the lens was clean, and then for some reason the guy who did the reassembly of the lens flipped one element, so the lens wasn't working correctly. So I got it for 10 euros. Then I opened the lens looking for the inverted element. I found it, but then in the process I made the lens very dirty. So what we're going to do today is to remove all the optical elements of this lens, well, all but one, which is really difficult to remove, but it's not a big deal. And then we're going to clean them. And then if you have this lens with fungus, with haze, or with other problem, you can follow this tutorial to remove the optics and then clean your lens. So we're going to start by disassembling the front of this lens. So here you can proceed in two ways. So you can use the slots here, and then this is what they did when they were cleaning this lens, because you can see the marks of wear here. Or the method I prefer is just to remove this element here. So I remove this rubber here, and then I see this opening here, and then there is one at 180 degrees. And then if I rotate the lens, I will see two screws that appear. And then what I'm going to do is just to remove those screws, and then to remove the element this way. So the advantage of this approach is that it will allow me to remove the whole assembly, and so I will have more room to work on the lens, especially for the following elements. But then the drawback of this is that I will need to do some alignment just after when reassembling the lens. So okay, I don't mark it because initially when I was removing everything I did not mark it, and then I was just testing before, and I realized that I was almost reaching the infinity, but in reality it wasn't infinity. Okay, so we'll remove the first element here, which is well, it's clean actually. And then we're going to remove this second element, which is actually a bit loose. I'll leave it loose actually before because I knew I was going to come back to clean the lens. Okay, so let me get my spanner key so you get the exercise complete. Okay, so I got my spanner, then I should come here and then get into the slots and then rotate, and then I get the lens loose. So, and then by doing that I'm able to remove this element here Okay, so when I was looking for the inverted element, I worked all these elements here. So you have this element here, then still you have one more additional element here on the back, but then that one, let me put some light in. Okay, so that element here, I don't have the tool to remove it. I need actually a very long key to put in, and then yeah, I don't, and then the lens, that lens particularly, look clean anyway. So this one we're not going to remove. This is what I meant when I said we're going to remove all the optical elements but one. So this is it for this side. So we have that element there, which is clean. Then okay, so I removed these elements, just trying to look for the culprit, and then I was replacing them with the parts from another element, another lens, and then these were working okay. So after removing them and then seeing that this element is very difficult to reach, so I'd say okay, so it's probably on the back of the lens that the problem is originating. So what we're going to do now is to remove the back, and then to do so I think this is a non-D lens, so I think I can remove the bayonet straight away, because there is no encoder on the lens. So this can be, it can be removed straight away. This is what I mean, is that the electronics, all the electronics are in the bayonet region and nowhere else in the lens. Okay, so then the last element here. Oh. Okay, so and then let's see if I'm right. Okay. Oop. Oh, no, I was wrong. There is actually one electronic part, one ribbon cable, which is going all the way through the electronics here. Usually, sometimes when there is a non-D lens, there is no connection between the lens itself and the body. Okay, so we're going to remove this element here. This should be quick. So you have to pay attention on that there is actually some connection between the body and the connectors here on the bayonet. Okay, so this. Okay. Now I'll remove this part here, and then you will see this actually very simple. Once we have removed all the elements here on the back. Okay, so we have this plastic element which is quite big here. Then okay, now we have removed the bayonet. As you can see, the gear is quite long. Okay, then we can remove the spacer. So okay, so this was the connector. So there's indeed some electronics connecting to the lens. Okay, so these are the spacers. We'll remove, and then very simple, the optical assembly comes here in one single shot. Okay, there's one spacer there. I can pick it up. And then the only thing that we have left is the element here behind, which is very clean. And then here, okay, initially when I got the lens, this is the element that at the end I had to disassemble, that we're going to disassemble. And then there is one lens here in the middle, and then it was inverted. And then obviously it was killing the optical recipe. So this is for the disassembly of the lens. As you could see, it is not very difficult. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to stop for a few seconds, get the cleaning stuff ready, and then we proceed with the repair. So I am back with the cleaning stuff. So as usual, I do two cleaning steps. So I use once isopropyl alcohol, then the second time I use optical cleaning fluid, which is this kind. As you can see in the picture, you can find any other one. These guys aren't paying me anything for it, so I'm not going to recommend, but this is the one I use. And then optical cleaning paper. As I always say, use the best you can find. So here I have a mix. I have already cut it in several pieces for simplify the cleaning. And then we're going to start the clean by the most complicated element, so which is the back element. And then it was the originator of the problem, but then it allowed me also to get the lens very cheap. So there is some film glue here that you will probably need to remove in order to clean the lens. Okay. Otherwise, well, I did it already. So, and then you access here, so you have two elements. So the back here, which is rather clean. Then this is the back element. This we can clean later. Then here, this is where you had the lens which was inverted. So what I'm going to do is there's one interior ring here that I'm going to remove with this small compass here. Okay, so this is it, and then let me get one nice tool I got recently for working with the lenses, and then it is this little guy, suction cup. I push, and then I am able to pull the lens. So you see, this is a how do you call that, a menisc, a convergent menisc, and then this is the way it should go, and then it was the other way around, and then this changes completely the optical recipe. So what we're going to do now is just to clean the lens. So this one, I'm going to put it somewhere, so here, and then what I'm going to do is to to do some typical cleaning. I don't think I need to linger on the details because you have seen it many times. I will show it just for the purpose of the demonstration, and then I will do the rest of the cleaning of the camera. Where's my thing here? Hop. There's one spacer here. I forgot it was there. And then by putting it again, I touch the lens, so I think we're good for cleaning again. But then you got the point. So namely, I take the lens, I apply some optical cleaning fluid. So first step, isopropyl alcohol to remove all the grease traces. I do one pass with the lens pen here, just pushing the paper in circles, and then the second step I use the optical cleaning fluid. So then I do the final cleaning, and then the lens should be okay. So this is it for the cleaning. So we're going to clean this element here, then we're going to clean this one, which was the problematic one. So this I am going to hold like this, then I'm going to apply the fluid, and then I'm going to move in circles as the other lenses, and then this is probably the last element we're going to clean, which is the front element, but I think we're going to do that at last. Okay, so this is for the cleaning. I will do the clean of the camera just for simplicity purposes, and then we meet just for the reassembly of the lens. I am done with the cleaning. Now we're going to reassemble the lens. So we start with the problematic element here, the back element. We put the spacer here, and then we bring the body here. We need to make sure there's no dust particles in this part here, otherwise we won't be able to remove it after. So you take the body of the lens, you put it upside down. So this is just to avoid that the spacer falls. Okay. So now that I am in position, I can just come back to a more normal position. Then fix here. Then just to reassemble, I take the spacers. Don't forget the spacers. And then I take the bayonet. The position is quite straightforward since I have the gear here for the focusing, and then here I have the focusing point on the bayonet. So it is quite easy to remember what the position of the bayonet should be. So moreover, I have the holes. Okay, I think I am in position. So here it usually blocks. I never know why. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now I'm in position. Everything is cool. So we can fix bayonet, screws. So the 3 of them. here is for the electronics. Just going to fix just the screws for the electronics. The body and the black body I don't really mind. Okay, I was taking the wrong screws. I am not in right position with the electronics, so I always sure of this, because what it will probably happen if you forget to get the right alignment, which is highly unlikely because otherwise you won't be able to put the screws. But then your camera is not going to read the lens, and then you will think probably that your repair was wrong or something like that, but in reality it's just the contacts which are not in the right position. Okay, here I put one, I put two, and here all the lens is looking good, which is a good thing. Then I return the lens, we put this element here, so you can okay, I saw there's a speck of dust. I will take care of that just after. Then the last element, the front element here, which is also cleaned. And then here, as I told you, I forgot the first time I disassembled the lens just to add the how do you call that? Yeah, a mark for the focusing. So here you will need to do probably some work trying to until you get the right position for the infinity. Honestly, it's not very critical. It is a good exercise, so you get used to aligning lenses. But then once you get the right position here on the holes, I saw them before, you can finish the reassembly of the lens. Okay, yeah, that's not the easiest part, so very important, just probably mark it when you disassemble the lens the first time, or just remove here from the front, whatever you prefer. But then once you get the alignment here, you will have the screws which are aligned with the holes. Okay, here not even able to see them. Okay, here I have them. So you put the screw and then you put the rubber, and then you're done with the lens. So I will let you finish that part of the calibration of the lens. Otherwise the repair is quite a success. So well, it was already repaired, we just need to clean the lens. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.